It's 11:45 Eastern. It's time for A Radio's Morning Moment.
Government is not the solution to our problem. Government is the problem. From time to time, we've been tempted to believe that society has become too complex to be managed by self-rule, that government by an elite group is superior to government for, by, and of the people. Well, if no one among us is capable of governing himself, then who among us has the capacity to govern someone else? All of us together, in and out of government, must bear the burden. The solutions we seek must be equitable, with no one group singled out to pay a higher price. We hear much of special interest groups. Well, our concern must be for a special interest group that has been too long neglected. It knows no sectional boundaries or ethnic and racial divisions, and it crosses political party lines. It is made up of men and women who raise our food, patrol our streets, man our mines and factories, teach our children, keep our homes, and heal us when we're sick. Professionals, industrialists, shopkeepers, clerks, cabbies, and truck drivers. They are, in short, we the people.
Fight on the beaches, we shall fight on the landing ground.
Thank you for joining us. You are listening to A Radio, and this is the Morning Moment. We're on weekdays, 11:45 Eastern. Follow us on Spreaker.com and click on the like button. What if? I'm calling this piece What If. That's, by the way, in case you wondered. Well, please bear with me and I will explain more. Or more likely, it will become clearer to yourself very soon. So here goes. Now follow me. Please bear with me. Bear in mind, there is, as far as I know, zero evidence that what I'm about to say is in fact any way true. But just imagine, and I hope you will, if it is, let me now elaborate. So imagine, if you would, you are running for President of the United States. But here's the problem. The president you're running against has created millions of jobs where there were none, has brought back to the country industries that had been decimated by previous administrations, had communist China on the ropes economically, and record figures on the stock market and economy that was booming, an administration that was shutting down countries that had been freeloading on the US for more than 50 years. A president who had crossed over the DMZ into North Korea, a country that openly threatens the United States. How could you possibly compete with this president, let alone beat him? Isn't that the question? How could you beat a president like this, running high in every conceivable area of policy? A president who had built the US military machine right back up, the military machine that the previous administration had weakened almost to the point of total ineffectiveness. How could you hope to compete, let alone win? How indeed? Exhibit 1, Project Blue. I have at least 2 pieces on this group. EHR 551, Morning Moment Project Blue Continued, April 29, 2019, and EHR 531, Morning Moment Project Blue Excerpts, March 22, 2019. Both of those I urge you to look up, because they will explain Project Blue in more detail. But briefly, this organisation has made it their goal from day one of the inauguration of the president to undermine him at the very least, and at the more extreme end, actually remove him from office. Now, I'm not going to go into great detail over that. All I'll say is that Project Blue is all the media, with very few exceptions, mounting a non-stop campaign against every aspect of this president or any of his actions. So that's Project Blue, but that alone would never be enough, especially as they failed to impeach him to the extent of removing him from office. So there has to be another way. So what I'm about to suggest, there is zero proof. I just offer this up shall we say it's more than a coincidence? What if you were a party that would stop at nothing to seize power because it was your party's belief, imperative if you like, to implement potentially game-changing policies that would redefine how the whole world operated? Would you perhaps do whatever it took to win? Do the ends justify the means? Are the needs of the many worth sacrificing a few? So I put this to you for you to consider, just to think about. You are a party that believes in what they call the New World Order. You are a party that was, quote, 5 days away from fundamentally transforming America. I'm sure you'll remember that. You are a party that shut down oil pipelines, drilling, fracking, coal mining. You are a party that put such restrictions on farmers that they couldn't raise their cattle economically, thus forcing the price not only of beef up, but all forms of farming much higher. You are the party that mandated windmills. You are the party that tried to put traditional car making out of business. You are the party that gave sensitive technology to North Korea. You are the party that helped create and promote and advocate for 4 years a fake Russian dossier. What will you do for power to control? And you are the party that are determined to destroy not only the Second Amendment, but the first one as well. So doesn't it stand to reason that you will do nearly anything? And you are the party who gave Iran billions of dollars in cash just to slow them down because you hadn't got a clue how to slow them down otherwise. The alternative was going to war, and you didn't want that. And you are the party that signed up for the Paris Climate Agreement, the damage of which can be seen in every Western country and their economies, the ones who did it. So it does stand to reason, as you wanted to go ahead with the Trans-Pacific Partnership, that if you were facing a party in power with a thriving economy, one you tried everything you could to slow down or even derail by putting obstacles in its way, like defunding the border wall to allow more illegals to come in, more potential voters for you, that is, then it does stand to reason, doesn't it, faced with all this stacked against you, that you might seek desperate measures. Now I say again, no evidence at this time. However, you have to say it's a hell of a coincidence, isn't it? Isn't it that the very year of a presidential election that a virus somehow escaped from China, the very country the president had just negotiated a deal that would have changed everything trade-wise. The very time this has been done, the US economy was doing so well in all areas. That very time, the world is hit with an economic Armageddon. Even George Soros talked about it at the time, saying that Donald Trump has no idea what's coming, unquote. Question, how could he know? What else did he know? I put it to you out there. It may be far-fetched. Yes, I don't doubt it. But it's a hell of a coincidence, isn't it, that this economic Armageddon happened in an election year. And more than that, a year when your party didn't even stand a prayer. Prior to this plague hitting not only the United States, but the world. So I ask everyone out there, could it be, and again I have no evidence, could it be that the needs of the many in your eyes outweighed the needs of the few? Even Cuomo put frail parts of his population in with the infected. Why would anybody do that? Why would anybody do that if you had spare capacity elsewhere? He did, and he knew it. Everywhere you look, the media seek to exaggerate the negative and play down the positive, or even ignore it. So I ask you, cold though it is, will we ever know who was responsible and why many people in positions of responsibility, not only in the United States, but elsewhere in the world, refused to prevent the spread? It makes you wonder, doesn't it? And even now, they look for reasons to delay the recovery and the response to the virus. At what cost? And why? Could they have another agenda? I'm just putting it out there, and this is my comment. You can find more at aradio.wordpress.com, where you can find links to us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Gab, Spotify, and email. We're on Spotify under the podcast section. type in Canadian politics with a twist and you'll find us. We are continuing to reach out to you, so please pass these links on to your friends. Please click on the follow button on Spreaker.com. You can listen to all our morning moments at Spreaker.com/A-Radio, EHRADIO, A-Radio. And please click on the like button. Join us Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 11:45 Eastern and tell your friends and pass the word. We only tell the truth, not what the mainstream media want you to know.